Hey, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Somebody let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Got quite a few people already on. Wait on a few more people to join. Should send out notifications saying that I'm going live. A few folks join. Oh, man. Let's see here. All right, so it looks like you guys can hear me. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Who all do we have on this morning? We got Camden, CJ, Skeeter, David, Debbie, Cassie. We got a lot of people on this morning. We'll wait on a few more people to join. Um, Happy Sunday morning. Probably our last day to chase for just a little bit. And it's going out with a bang today. Going out with a bang today. If you guys do have any questions or anything like that, I'll answer questions kind of at the end. We always do these pre-stream videos. We made it public for everybody today because today is a big threat that covers a lot of different people. This is a larger threat than we've been chasing the past couple of days, more widespread outbreak than the past couple of days have been with tornadoes that we've had, back on, Thursday and Friday this week. This is more of a widespread event. It's going to be affecting a lot more people. So I wanted to go ahead and make this public. Typically these are for just members. If you would like to continue seeing these, then take a look at being a member. But this is just a little bit more in detail. We kind of go over what my thoughts are about a certain setup and target areas, what we're looking at, our plan for the day. Just kind of a little bit more in detail than we normally would on a general stream. So. Go ahead and hop into things real quick. Typically, we take about 20 to 30 minutes to chat about this, so that's what we like to keep it at. I don't like to keep you guys too long. Plus, I need to hit the road pretty soon. So, first off, this is the Storm Prediction Center website, the SPC. This is their convective outlook for the day. As you can tell, we do have a moderate risk of severe weather that encompasses a lot of the Red River right there, right along Oklahoma and the northern part of Texas. So this does include places like Lawton, Wichita Falls, places like that. I think it's north of Dallas. If I'm not, it may include Dallas a little bit, but probably a little bit further north of you guys. This is a wind-driven moderate risk. So you can see right here with this 45% hatched area, we could be looking at a possible derecho today. That there are a lot of things that go into that. We need more than just damaging wind reports, as most of you know. We need it over a large area, which we could be getting that today. It could develop into a big time squall line or MCS and move through, causing a lot of wind damage, power outages, damage to people's homes. Things like that. We could be looking at 80 to 100 mile per hour winds today. This is a very significant wind threat. Now, the tornado threat, we'll go over the models here in just one second. The tornado threat is at a 5% today. That does include Oklahoma and Texas as well. What we're going to be watching is we're going to be having some supercells that are going to pop up near the Texas Panhandle, near Amarillo, maybe even a little bit further northeast of that, right near that 5% circle area. I think the SPC has done a good job with this, with putting this area out here. We're going to see some supercells that are going to pop up. What we're going to see from those is those will likely be outflow dominant supercells causing with huge hail. Huge hail. We could be looking at, I know the SPC mentioned 4+ inch. We could be looking at 5+ inch hail today. That's softball size, folks. That's enough that if you're driving in a car, that could be really, really dangerous. So if you're in that area and you encounter any hail at all, I would definitely find somewhere to pull off for safety. Find a gas station somewhere with an overhang that you could pull off. Do not park under overpasses. I wanted to mention that as well. But initial thought is going to be initial supercells for a couple of hours, probably outflow dominant supercells, but there's still a chance that those could produce tornadoes. and then that will form into more of a squall line and work its way through the Red River, like I said, towards Wichita Falls, the Dallas area, places Lawton, out Oklahoma, places like that. So first off, let's go take a look at the satellite, and you can see, guys, it is pretty quiet over the threat area right now. We got some storms that are getting going right here on a remnant boundary. But overall, you know, it's pretty quiet. There's not much going on right now. I don't see much in the way of, you know, anything that would hinder today. But you can definitely tell that there is a boundary right here, and there may be a little bit of a boundary right here as well, that these storms may ride on. But overall, satellite, nothing really sticks out there. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the output models that we look at. This is the CSU MLP severe weather output model. This is from Colorado State University. You can tell right here they kind of break it down. This is their learning model, and it breaks down what their thoughts are about today. So you can see the little black dot. That would be kind of like a bullseye that you could think of. So now, this is not to say that, you know, this area is going to have the best chance of tornadoes. This is just what their model thinks. We won't know this until things actually get going, and we're going to look at models here in just a second to explain it a little bit more about, you know, getting down to this. But this came out at 7 o'clock, or yeah, this came out last night, late last night, midnight last night. So you can see that it puts a bullseye pretty much over Wichita Falls, Texas, for the tornado threat today. I think your main tornado threat's probably closer to the Texas Panhandle. But as these storms do congeal into that MCS, that squall line, that big possible derecho, you could have some embedded tornadoes in there as well. Your wind threat, once again, main bullseye looks to be over Wichita Falls. And then hail threat, a little bit further north as those storms earlier on in the day, when we get those storms that are going to be more supercellular in nature, where we're going to have 2 to 3 hours of supercells with those over in the Texas Panhandle. So we're going to quickly transition from a large, extremely large hail threat. I mean, I know that Reed Timmer throws out the gorilla hail type thing. That's what we could be looking at today. Softball size hail. That is big hailstones. That causes a lot of damage. That's something we're going to need to avoid. Um, and it's going to transition from more of a severe hail threat and maybe a possible tornado threat to a big time wind event. Um, let's see here. This is actually the AI program that we use quite a bit. This is StormNet, the MMFS. You guys can go check them out. This is a membership based thing where you can actually go in here. This takes the power of AI and actually incorporates it. This is your tornado risk. So you can see right here, there's no tornado risk, very low, low, medium, high, and very high. And with this, I have not actually looked at this morning, but it does take a little bit to load sometimes. So let's go ahead and go out. We'll go out, let's see, 9 hours. So this is at 23Z. So this would be at, that would be at 6 o'clock this evening. And you can see that it has a medium tornado risk. That would be over where is that at? Pampa, I think is how you say that. And then there's another county there that I cannot remember what it's called. It starts with an S. It's like Seymour or It's not Seymour. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, that's where the main tornado threat would be according to this. That's at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Let's see if it'll go out. Okay, so this is at 8 o'clock, and you can see it covers Lawton, Childress, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls. At this point, it would probably be a large MCS. You're looking at mainly an embedded tornado threat with this. This is another thing that we like to use a little bit. Just 1 second, it'll load. And then this just kind of shows you where the main tornado threat would be as well. And then this is suggesting, once again, Texas Panhandle area. I think this probably has a better handle on it. We're going to go over models here in just 1 second, but I think this probably has a better handle on where I think the tornado threat would be, and then it transitions over into that area as it gets later on in the evening as that big time squall line moves through. So let's go ahead and jump into modeling, because that's really what's going to tell the day. So let's go ahead and just pull up. We'll pull up the HRRR model. We'll make it quick since we're already 15 minutes in. So We'll just make it pretty quick and simple. We'll just go ahead and zoom in to the south central US. And we will go out to, this is temperatures right here. Let's go ahead and show dew points. You show your dew points right here. Another thing about today, we're working with extreme instability, and I'll show that here in just 1 second. But we'll go out to 19Z. This is at 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can see a lot of low 70 dew points, upper 60 dew points. So the air is it's going. If you live in the threat area today and you walk outside, today is going to feel like a severe weather day. So it is. You walk out there and you know how it feels when it's just kind of soupy. I like to consider it like weather that you can wear, because it feels like you walk outside and you're wearing a sweater and you just immediately start sweating. So I mean, your dew points are looking extremely good. Even up in the Texas Panhandle, those look good as well. That's at 21Z, and I mean it's just the atmosphere is set right there for a very moist. I hate that word. A very moist setup right there. Um, let's see here. I'm going to go down here and actually show you guys the surface-based instability. And if you like pretty colors, you're going to like this. Here is your surface-based CAPE. Extreme instability. You've got 4,000 CAPE down here near the Dallas Metro. Uh, you likely have storms that are ongoing right here. That's why you have these little dots. We'll look at the convective output in just 1 second. But this is at 21Z. This is at 4 o'clock, and you can just see, guys. This is just it's loaded with really solid instability. The main marginal or moderate risk right here. And it doesn't really change. I almost wonder if storms are pushed back a little bit later. I haven't looked at this new run, so let's go back here. We're going to go back to 18Z. And I'm going to pull up reflectivity. So 18Z, you have a little bit of a development right there. This is at 1 o'clock this afternoon. You have a little bit of development up in the Oklahoma Panhandle. Let's see if that can, yeah. So you've got one supercell that gets going there. There's not much of a cap either. So we're going to see these storms be outflow dominant, and then more storms are going to fire up on that outflow from those storms, and that's going to start the MCS. You don't have much of a cap where you did the past couple of days that kept those storms isolated, being massive supercells. We don't have that today, so you're going to see a lot of storm development. So this is at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You can start to see more storms starting to form. So 4 o'clock here, 5 o'clock. Where's our MCS at? 6 o'clock. Okay, you're starting to see a little bit more formation here. Another thing to note is we're starting to see a little bit of these prefrontal cells. Those would obviously have a huge hail chance, but we could be seeing that could be where our tornado risk is maximized if we can see some of these that would be prefrontal cells out in front of the main MCS that forms back there. And you can see this would almost be a multi-cluster. This is not a squall line. This is more of like a multi-cluster cell of supercells right there. So that's at 8 o'clock this evening. At 9 o'clock, here's your start of your MCS. You can kind of see that these storms are kind of bowing out a little bit. You do have some prefrontal cells right here, and you have another one over Dallas, or northwest of Dallas, that we'll need to keep an eye on. Let's see, that doesn't go out all the way, so let's go take a look at this. We'll look at the 13Z. This is at 10 o'clock this evening, and you can see that this is kind of bowed out right here. This is your MCS. Now, it's going to probably look a little bit different than this. Don't necessarily think that this is actually going to, radar will not look exactly like this tonight, but this does give us at least a good idea of what it's going to look like. And it does continue for quite a while. This is at 11 o'clock tonight, still going. Midnight, you've got a big time wind threat moving through here. Dallas, it would be probably looking about midnight or so is when you guys would be impacted. And this goes all the way into Louisiana. I'm not sure. Yeah, models won't go out that far, but this goes all the way into Louisiana, everybody. So you could be looking at a MCS that forms, back near Wichita Falls and Lawton, and works its way all the way into Shreveport. So that's why we're thinking this could be a derecho. This could be a long wind event. Let's go and take a look, just out of curiosity. Let's look at the helicity streaks. Yeah, there's the reason why for your moderate risk right there. Helicity streaks. Oftentimes people will think of helicity streaks as, well, that's where the tornadoes are. That's not it. All a helicity streak is, it shows your storms that have really high updrafts, really robust updrafts. Now you have to have a solid updraft to have a tornado. But just because you have an helicity streak does not mean that these are all going to be tornadoes right here. This is just showing that you have a very strong updraft. So take a look at your significant tornado parameter. I'm not expecting too much with the significant tornado parameter. Once again, you've got a little bit of an area right here that we may need to watch. That would be pretty close to where we had that development. Let's see if anything fires up there. Give me just 1 second. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a boundary right there where we have development on. Just gonna go pull a sounding from this area. Cherry pick the sounding. Yeah, there's probably a boundary right there. Good God, 7,000 cape? That's almost 8,000 cape, folks. There's barely any shear though. God, if you had a boundary for this, holy smokes. Good Lord. Nearly 8,000 cape. That is wild. Wow. Big time instability over here, folks. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so that's kind of what we're thinking. Well, let's go back to the reflectivity of these. And we'll just go ahead and put this in motion again, so that way we can kind of time it out again. So this is at 1 o'clock, like I said, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So you got 4 o'clock right here. You got supercells that are going in the Oklahoma Panhandle. That's probably where we're going to start. And then you get some development that continues over here. It's not going to look like, these aren't going to look like this. These will likely be very robust supercells. You got some supercells that are popping up in the Texas Panhandle as well, right there at the 22Z. So that's at 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock, large storms getting going now. That would be near Canadian Texas, Pampa, all that. And it just continues. It's still picking up on that one supercell too, right there. It's still picking up on that one big old supercell. Where is that at? Give me just 1 second. Pull up Google Maps. What is that place? Give me 2 seconds. What is that? Is that Childress and Memphis probably? That's probably Childress, I bet. Give me a second. Yeah, I think that's like Memphis and Childress over there. Yeah, that's Memphis, Clarendon, that area. You know what probably is going to be a good idea for us today with as these storms are going to be moving southeast, we may start somewhere near like Clarendon or maybe like Pampa, um, and then be able to be on Highway 287 right there that goes all the way down, and be able to just kind of play a cat and mouse game with it. I know this area very well. We've seen many tornadoes on this road, 287 right there, and it goes all the way down. And then maybe hop on 82 that heads into like Sherman and stuff. But that we will be on Highway 287 a lot today, because once this does form into a big time QLCS, this thing is going to be moving quick. It's going to be covering a county an hour probably. Um, it's going to be moving really fast. So once it gets going, we're going to have a southeast route, and that's probably going to be our way to do that. We're probably going to be on 287 going southeast. But you can see right here, this is at 10 o'clock, still raging on right there. So big time day today. Tornado threat. I wouldn't be surprised if the next outlook, if they do put a 10% risk out for tornadoes, I could see that. Maybe not 10% hatched, but maybe just a 10% non-hatched. I could definitely see that. But today, the big time threat is going to be wind and hail. Um, Not to say that there will still be tornadoes, so don't let your guard down with that. But folks, this is not going to be, if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning today, it's not going to be just a typical, well, I need to go bring in the lawn furniture. I don't want my trampoline to go in the neighbor's yard. This is one where you could lose shingles from your house, trees could come down, power lines could snap. You're looking at 80 to 100-mile-per-hour winds. That's hurricane strength wind. Just go ask the folks in Iowa when they had that big derecho. Just go ask the folks in Iowa. You know what a big derecho up there can do. It caused a ton of damage, millions of dollars worth of damage in that area. So um, obviously we like covering tornadoes. That's my biggest thing. That's what we're going to focus on early. But after that, it's going to really focus on the wind and hail threat. Um, but a lot of these are going to be chunking some. I mean, there's so many factors into today. Like it's such a complex setup. It's complex, but it's not. It's a pretty simple setup. But there's so much that goes into it today. I mean, you've got big time hailstones, big time hail, 5-inch hail. You've got tornadoes possible with a possible derecho with hurricane strength wind. I mean, it's just an incredible setup. Like you only get setups like this maybe once a year with these type of derechos or possible derechos. I don't want to call it that. It's you don't call it a derecho until after the event. Okay, so just going back through here to see if you guys had any quick questions. We did have, it looks like, John, thank you for that super chat. Just for don't park under, I'll be plumb wild for doing that. Yeah, yeah, do not park do not park over overpasses, please. Let's see here, just going back through to see if we got any questions. You said there was going to be very low shear. How will tornadoes form in that environment that would cause shear to increase? Yeah, so today is a very low shear event. That's the reason why we're thinking there's not going to be a huge tornado threat. But what you could see is, so if you notice right here, this is your 0 to 1 kilometer helicity. This is your shear. So this is at 10 o'clock this morning. There's like no shear out here at all. But what you'll see is as these storms begin to fire, they're going to be outflow dominant. So if there's a storm that could fire up in front of that storm, maybe ingest the outflow from the other storm, outflow can help rotate a storm. So that outflow from another storm, that's why you have mergers. That's why you have storm interactions, things like that. That can cause tornadoes. So just because we don't have a ton of shear in this area doesn't mean we can't have tornadoes. I don't think the tornadoes are going to be long lived today when or if we have tornadoes, but it's definitely possible that we could have tornadoes just based off storm interaction. There's not a ton of shear. You don't need a ton of shear when you have this much instability. You need just a little bit of shear. So I mean, it could happen. I think there could be some tornadoes today. I don't think it's going to be a huge. It's not going to be a tornado outbreak. I'm not I'm pretty certain about that. But you could have some tornadoes for sure, even in this low shear environment, just because of storm interaction and that high instability. Let's see. Yeah, CAPE is convective available potential energy. Yeah, definitely a big wind threat. Definitely a big wind threat. Um, yeah, I agree with that, Mama G. You need to take severe thunderstorm warnings today as tornado warnings. A lot of folks, me included, if I see a thunderstorm warning for my area in Huntsville, I'm thinking, I'm going to go on the front porch and I'm going to go watch some lightning with it. That's not going to be these storms today. If you're in a severe thunderstorm warning today, consider that a tornado warning. Go to the innermost portion of your house because there could be debris with this. You could have some branches, some trees fall on homes, things like that. So treat these as tornado warnings today. This is not going to be your typical severe thunderstorm warning day. Hey, we're going to do our best to go sniff out some of those tornadoes today. We will do our best. Yeah, the audio is quite. I'm having to use my computer audio instead of my camera, so just make sure to turn up the volume on your phone or on your laptop. I'm ready to play the sniffer song for epic storm sniffing shenanigans. You got it. Hey, every time that we play that song, something happens. Big fan. What's your weather background? Because you can sniff them out. I've just Beth. I've been. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not. I'm very upfront about that. I'm not a meteorologist. I do not have the degree. But I've been doing this for so long. I've been chasing for 15 years now. Been actively storm chasing, and before that, I was just a big time weather enthusiast. I read a ton of books. I also networked to surround myself with a lot of meteorologists that know what they're talking about. Some of the best meteorologists and storm chasers out there I have surrounded myself with, so I've learned under them. Um, and I've just I've whenever I mess up on a forecast, I go back and look at models and see what I was wrong, see where I was wrong. I'm just constantly learning with it. So I don't have that degree, but I feel like I've been doing this long enough that I know, not probably not as much, but enough to make me dangerous, I guess you could say. Um, I've just been doing it for so long that plus being out in the field, there are some meteorologists that once they get out in the field, they can look at radar, they can look at models, but once they get out in the field, it's tough for them to really know what they're looking at because they've never seen it before. Um, I like to use visuals a lot. I use visuals a whole lot just because I've seen so many different storms, and right before they produce, or if it looks like something's not going to produce, if it's outflow dominant, if it's inflow dominant, things like that. That's stuff that you wouldn't necessarily know unless you're out there all the time in it. So that's really what I've done is surround myself with folks that know what they're talking about, learn from them, read a lot of books, always be learning. If That's one thing, always be learning with everything. I mean, that's a good life story. Just never stop learning. Always trying to be teaching yourself, making yourself a better person as well. So um, and the population area that moderate, and just for anybody interested, the moderate risk, the population area is actually 6 million today. That's a big time number. That's a big time number. The slight risk encompasses 34 million people. So a lot of people under the gun today. And I know we focused on the moderate risk. You do have an enhanced risk that does include Oklahoma City Metro over to Amarillo, Texarkana, and then you've got a slight risk that goes all the way, folks, it goes all the way up into Illinois and Louisiana and all the way down into daggone Southwest Texas. Heck, if you're in Mexico, we got anybody in Mexico watching this? You guys could have some strong storms down there. Goodness gracious, big area. Let's see here. Yeah, you've definitely got a boundary right here that we're going to need to watch. That boundary could have some shear on it that could help produce some tornadoes. Just looking to see where the first storm's going to kind of get going. I bet it fires up somewhere on this boundary right here. So that's probably where we're going to go to start out. I've still got to get a shower and head out of here. I think my checkout from the hotel is actually at 11 o'clock, so we probably need to end it pretty soon. Oh, dear God. Oh, everybody get up for Mr. Ryan Hall in the house. What about Pikeville, Kentucky? What about Pikeville, Kentucky, Ryan? What do you think? What about Pikeville, Kentucky? You guys actually are in a marginal risk. Folks in Pikeville, let's pay attention today, guys. Tornado risk, none. Wind risk, hail risk. Wind risk for Pikeville, Kentucky. So we could have some issues at the weather house today. We could have some issues at the weather house. Hey, be weather aware, Ryan. Okay, be weather aware today, please. We all hope that you're weather aware. Interestingly enough, we have a donut hole over Nashville. So Nashville, you have literally nothing to worry about today. Nashville, all the way up to like Bowling Green, nothing to worry about. And folks over in Clarksville, Tennessee, I know a lot of people. We always talk about Clarksville, Tennessee. You guys are in a marginal risk for severe weather today. So let's keep an eye on that for Clarksville, Tennessee. But no, our main threat, like I said, is going to be that moderate risk. That's what we're going to be focusing on. So let's give it up for Ryan. Ryan's in the house, folks. Um, let's see here. His song has tornado magic. Yep, yep, sure does. It's wild. Every time Ryan plays that, it's it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's see here. Lord, we summoned Ryan with mentioning the tornado sniffer song. Oh my gosh. Hold on to your wigs. Oh my goodness, y'all are too much. Okay, all right. So everybody, I am going to actually give me 1 second. I'm actually going to finish looking at this model right here before I hop in the shower and get going. Just 1 second, see what it's showing, and then we're gonna start things out and get on the road. Yeah, this is something we're gonna need to watch. Is this supercell right here that can kind of get, if it can be out front of this line right here. Also, any development that can happen in this area on that boundary, possibly for tornado development, and then it just congeals into this big old mass. And good night. Wow. Of course, it strengthens right before it hits Dallas. That would be a mean Boeing segment right there. That would be awful. Let's actually zoom in on that. So that's at 15. So let's do that. And then we'll go to local, Northeast Texas. Of course, right through the Dallas metro. This is at midnight, folks. This is going to be a long stream. We're going to be doing this for a while. Good night. Look at that bow going through Dallas. That would, I mean, 80 to 100 mile per hour winds easily with that, with big old hail too. Big hail. Holy, if you're in the Dallas area, if you're anywhere in the moderate risk area today, I would go ahead, if you could park your car in a garage or park it somewhere where you can be covered from the hail, I would absolutely be looking at that. Hold on just a second. Fire text message. Um, goodness gracious, Dallas. We'll definitely need to be at some point today before we'll need to be in Dallas to cover that. But that is a big time wind threat right there. Whew. That is a mean looking storm coming through Dallas at midnight. I'll be honest with you guys. I'll probably go ahead and get a hotel in Dallas tonight because I got a feeling that we're going to be there for a little bit, and it does continue all the way over into Louisiana as well. Goodness gracious, this whole line will be lit up with thunderstorm warnings later on. Goodness gracious. So, like I said, just to recap everything, to start out the day, we're going to have supercells. We'll probably have supercells for like 2 to 3 hours in the Texas Panhandle. Those supercells will have the ability to produce very or large hail to possibly even very large hail, 5 inch plus hail, softball size hail. Tornado risk is probably maximized in that area. The supercell risk is probably or supercell tornado risk is probably maximized in that area, and then we could, and then it's going to form into more of an MCS, um, a squall line with embedded tornadoes, probably near the Childress area. You're going to start to see it form into more of an MCS squall line that works its way southeast on Highway 270 right there, going all the way into Dallas and then all the way into Shreveport later on. Once again, for timing, it looks like Dallas is probably about midnight or so. I would be prepared probably a little bit earlier than that. Oftentimes, models are a little bit later with these, and you'll actually see it get there a little bit earlier. So I'd go ahead and probably plan on 10 o'clock for the Dallas area. But yeah, it's going to be a noisy night for a lot of these folks. A lot of these folks, it's going to be a really busy night. Um, let's see here. Hey, Craig, thank you, Craig Sharp, Storm Chaser and Videographer. Hey, thanks so much for being a moderate risker. Let's give it up for Craig, guys. Give it up for Craig. Meteorology Unleashed, can I use your stream on my live? Unfortunately, not Meteorology Unleashed. I've got an exclusive deal with Ryan, so I am not able to. You are not able to use my stream. So please do not do that. Thank you for asking, though. Okay, folks, we are going to go ahead and end the stream. I don't have any. I don't have. We actually went over the time that had allotted for this, so I've got to get in the shower. I've got to get moving, guys. I've got to go over the Texas Panhandle. I'm still, guys. I'm still over in Norman, Oklahoma. I got a little ways to go. So we will start the stream. Let's see what time. That's another thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, and I can announce what time we're going to start the stream today. So it looks like. Let's go ahead and start the stream. We'll start the stream today at 4 o'clock. We're going to start the stream today at 4 o'clock Central Time PM. So moderators, just a heads up, 4 o'clock. So a little bit later on in the afternoon. We will, if we need to go earlier than that, we will. Don't forget you can watch my stream also on Ryan Hall, y'all. You can watch that as well. But if you want to come and chat with me, definitely come and do that. I'll be paying attention to the chat today, so we can engage and talk and things like that. We always have a good time on the stream. Our folks that watch the stream can attest for that. We always have a good time, even when the storms don't produce. We always have a good time. So, hey, storm chase. It's being out here covering storms. That's my happy place. So we have a great time together. But yeah, we'll start the stream about 4 o'clock. It could be a long stream, so make sure to have your energy drinks. Get those 5 hour. You may need 2 5 hour energy drinks for today. You might even need two today. But it's going to be a long stream today. I would anticipate we'll probably be live, probably at least till midnight, maybe even later than that if there's damage to cover in the Dallas area. I don't plan. There's not much to the east of Dallas. I don't plan going too much further to the east unless things really speed up. So it'll probably be Wichita Falls to Dallas is what we're looking at today. So um, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. If you're headed into church, hopefully you have a good time. But we will see y'all at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Go spend time with your families. Go get some good lunch. Get hydrated. Get some energy drinks. It's going to be a long stream for us tonight. So you have a good rest of your day. We will see you later on this afternoon here in just a few hours. End every stream with saying this, but thank you to our members. You guys make this possible. If you would like to donate or contribute the donation, you can send a Venmo or PayPal if you would like, or you can do a super chat even after the stream is going on. So you guys make this possible. Thank you so much for anybody that did super chat. Welcome to any new members. Welcome to the family. We love having you guys. You guys make this possible. It is not cheap being out here. Gas isn't cheap. Hotels and food and all that stuff are not cheap either. So very much appreciative for all of our members. Once again, we do this normally just for the members. So if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed going a little bit more in depth about what we're thinking, timing, locations, become a member. That helps me out. Plus, you get something out of it as well. Plus, I mean, I know I said this last stream, but the big thing is you guys get to see my face, which is, I mean, it's an incredible face. I would take off my hat, but I haven't had a shower, so I don't want to show my hair or anything. But that's why I firmly believe that the members are here not because of the weather. They just like looking at me. I think that's, no, I'm just kidding. I did. But yeah, if you would like to become a member, please do. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you here in probably, Ryan Hall just became a slight risk member. Ryan Hall is the man. Golly. Love that guy. Thank you, Ryan. TK also said stay safe. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. I became a member because of this. Great marketing. Hey, thanks, man. Thank you. You gotta love the corn dogs. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you here in probably about 5 hours or so. I assume Ryan will probably go a little bit sooner than me, so you can see my stream on his live stream earlier than me. But I'm planning on firing mine up about 4 o'clock today. So you guys have a good rest of the morning and afternoon, and I'll see y'all here at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Y'all have a good one. See ya.